So if you're human, he's an enemy to you and me. He's poison ivy. I want to put out two more crazy statements of his to sort of show what I think was really wrong with him and why he thinks this way. He wrote an article in 1975 where he said, "Those who believe that science will pull a technological rabbit out of the hat to save us at the last minute simply suffer from an inability to learn. Technological rabbits tend to create more problems than they solve. They usually have large appetites and abundant, noxious droppings. The Green Revolution, broadcast use of antibiotics, and chlorinated hydrocarbon pesticides, dependence on the automobile for personal transportation, and nuclear power are prime examples." This is a wild statement. The Green Revolution was a series of dramatic improvements to agriculture, which saved, estimates are, about 1 billion lives. He thinks that was a bad thing. Notably, the people that he thought were going to starve to death by the hundreds of millions in the 1970s were saved because of the Green Revolution. He didn't want them to be saved, which is weird. He doesn't explain why he doesn't think those billion people should have been saved by the Green Revolution, what the downsides are that are so dramatic as to justify saying that it was a mistake. But I do have a suspicion that's sharpened by another one of his statements in that article. The essay is focused on nuclear energy, and he says, for the sake of argument, let's assume that nuclear energy is developed to the point where there's almost zero direct costs, economically and environmentally. And then let's say that these power plants are dotted across the whole world. So at that point, all of mankind has access to abundant, cheap, and clean power. What happens then? Possibly the end of civilization. What? That's the game. Even if we stopped emitting greenhouse gases, even if we stopped using fossil fuels altogether, even if we dramatically reduced the land usage for energy production, Paul still wouldn't support humans having access to abundant, cheap power. Because he thinks if humans have abundant, cheap power, we'd use it to destroy the world. Fundamentally, he thinks humans make more problems than we solve. So he would rather people die than solve their problems. He's on Team Nature, and he sees humanity as the enemy,